Feel my need. Don't ever let another take her love from me. Oh, I wish you. Mm, ever when I'm for you. I hear a tender rhapsody, but in reality, he has a once again, running away with me. Oh, tell you it was just my imagination. It's my imagination. Picture writing on the wall. Picture, but in fact, don't understand the instruction. Yeah, your face back. All that you can. Don't understand your father. Just turn that way. Yeah, yeah. Nothing. Go down that way. Go this way. I know, oh, 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 from me, gonna forget right.
The Nissan Rogue. Pack it, push it, rev it, rip it, test it, trust it, drive it. It can take it. The 2026 Nissan Rogue. Built for all the noisy, crazy, happy chaos you can throw at it. Nissan Rogue, #1 in new vehicle quality among compact SUVs. For JD Power 2026 US IQS award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. Awards based on 2026 model year.
The Colonel's cooked up a new $10 bucket of the day just for you. Monday, 24 nuggets for $10. Tuesday, 8-piece fried chicken for $10. Wednesday, 10 wings for $10. Thursday, 8 tenders for $10. Friday, 24 nuggets for, oh, you guessed it, didn't you? $10. The $10 bucket of the day deal. Every weekday, only at KFC. It's finger licking good.
Prices and participation vary while supplies last. Not available on third-party ordering platforms. Tax extra.
Welcome to the Santa Maria Bonita School District. Is in session now. It is 6:02. Roll call, please.
Ms. Cordero,
Present.
Mr. Valencia, absent. Mr. Hollinshead, absent. Mr. Lara,
Here.
Ms. Cabral.
Here. See. Report from closed session. Dr. McDuffie, just for items A, B, and C, and D, information was shared today. Introduction of interpreters this evening. Our interpreters are Benito Flores, Aime Heredia, Daniel Garcia, and greetings and support are provided by Benjamin Alfaro, Karen Dominguez, and Nacheli Santiago. Pledge of Allegiance. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready, begin.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Looks like we have one more coming in. So item 8, public comment period. Public comments are intended to allow members of the public to address the board related to the school district, for on items related to the school district. Comments are limited to 3 minutes per person or subject and 15 minutes total per topic. If an answer to a specific question is requested, the board president may, if appropriate, direct administration to respond in writing. Just a friendly reminder to our speakers this evening, please deliver your remarks at a moderate pace so our interpreters can provide accurate interpretation. Speaking too quickly may compromise the accuracy of the comment for our listening audience. Dr. McDuffie, do we have any public comments for non-agenda items this evening?
Yes, we do. We'll start with Herrera Hernandez or Hernandez.
Muy buenas tardes a todos. Entundo Tata Nana de la mesa directiva Tata Dr. McDuffie de Inañu Ji Naniji Eron Hernández Comiji Cominacuali de Iyi Tacuyi ña parte ña comité ña dila ña distrito escolar Santa María Bonita yo Tabini Ishai de no isha niña do onti haa tu sabi yo Wanik kunti haa tu sabi tanto onti ngocho di hanti tu saa shanya dabi nyinti kunya go shiniso nya do di shanya di shana kwalise enti ta koninti koniso na shanya do di na kwalise enti na distrito ni koniso na nyanto di na kwali enti nya escuela koninti nya do di shin na kwali enti koninti di na kwali enti konin kondo na tanda vinido tata nana ñogondite.
Hola, buenas tardes.
¿Podría alguien decirme qué entendió?
Un momento, por favor.
Se escuche, espéranos un momento, por favor.
Claro, vamos a interpretar. Good evening to all parents and board members and Dr. McDuffie. My name is Aaron Hernandez. I have 4 children. I am part of the committee of DLAC. We speak Mixteco quite a lot in this community. We don't speak enough Spanish. We are limited. That's why you don't hear us much. You don't hear our voice. You don't hear our experience. We want you to know about our children, what our children go through in school. We want all our children to succeed. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, señor Hernández.
Carmen Herrera.
Buenas tardes.
Buenas tardes.
Hoy 12 de agosto de 2026. Muy buenas tardes a la mesa directiva. Muy buenas tardes al doctor McDuffie. Y muy buenas tardes al gabinete. Y muy buenas tardes a la querida audiencia por estar presentes ahorita aquí. Mi nombre es Carmen Herrera. Soy madre de 4 hijos, de los cuales 2 tienen necesidades especiales. La razón por la cual estoy hoy aquí el día de hoy es porque tengo unas inquietudes sobre la reunión pasada, que fue el 8 de julio del 2026. Quiero saber qué cambios o medidas han tomado al respecto. Quiero retomar el tema que había hablado sobre la eficiencia y el soporte de la traducción y transparencia en el idioma que necesitamos y la seguridad de nuestros niños que sufren bullying y acoso en las escuelas del distrito y a los que no se les da la importancia necesaria y menos cuando son niños con una IEP. También quiero mencionar que en el video que postearon en YouTube, la parte donde yo hablo y participé y expuse mis preocupaciones y necesidades no aparecieron en el video. Después de investigar, parece que fue un problema técnico y esperamos que no vuelva a suceder y a pasar esto, por favor. ¿O será que mencioné nombres que ustedes no quieren que el Estado se entere? Basado en mis inquietudes, queremos ver qué cambios va a haber y esperemos que los haya. No quiero creer que estoy siendo ignorada o discriminada, por favor. Ya que no he recibido ninguna respuesta de parte del Distrito de Santa María Bonita, quisiera también dirigirme al doctor McDuffie y preguntarle cuál es la fecha y hora para la reunión que habíamos acordado a principios del mes de agosto 2026, el día 10 de junio del 2026, ya que no he recibido respuesta por teléfono o correo electrónico por parte de usted o de su oficina. Espero tener una respuesta de usted lo antes posible para resolver lo acordado y también quererles pedir que quiero una respuesta por escrito, por favor. Y les agradezco a todos por su atención y por escucharme. Y muchas gracias a todos ustedes. Gracias.
Muchas gracias.
Good evening. My name is Carmen Herrera. Good afternoon, Board of Directors, board members. Good afternoon, Dr. McDuffie. Good afternoon, Cabinet, and good afternoon to the audience and general public. I am the mother of 4 children, 2 of them whom have special needs. The reason I am here today is because I have some concerns regarding the last meeting held on July 8th. I would like to know what changes or measures have been taken in this regard. I would like to revisit the topic I had previously discussed regarding the efficiency of translation support and transparency in the language we need, and regarding the safety of our children who are being bullied in district schools, an issue that isn't given the attention it deserves, especially when it comes to children with an IEP. I also want to mention that in the video you posted on YouTube, the part where I participated and expressed my concerns and needs were not included. After looking into it, it seems that it was a technical issue and we hope it won't happen again. Or it could be that I mentioned names you don't want the state to know. Given my concerns, we want to see what kind of changes will be made, and we hope there will be some. I don't want to believe that I'm being ignored or discriminated against, since I haven't received any response from the Santa Maria Benito School District. I'd also like to address Dr. McDuffie and asked for the date and time of the meeting we had agreed upon for early August 2026, specifically June 10, 2026, since I haven't received a response by phone or email from him or his office. I hope to hear from you as soon as possible to finalize our arrangements. I would like this also in writing. I thank you all for your attention and for listening to me, and thank you very much.
Francisco Lozano.
Buenas tardes, miembro de las mesas directivas, con el respectivo señor superintendente y a todos los personales, padres, estudiantes, miembros de la comunidad que se encuentra en esta sala de juntas. Mi nombre es Francisco Lozano, miembro de la comunidad y presidente del Comité de Padre Asesor Mixteco. Hoy vengo a atender una necesidad de barreras lingüísticas para las familias mixtecas que tienen hijos en diferentes escuelas bajo nuestro distrito, Bonita. No hay intérprete y eso le dificulta la comunicación. La visión y la misión de nuestro distrito es muy claro, que somos una comunidad de diversidad y que todas las voces son muy importantes. Por eso siento que hace falta mejorar y desarrollar más en este ambiente del lenguaje mixteco para crear una fuente de comunicación e involucrar a los padres en el proceso escolar de sus hijos para que tenga éxito en la educación y a la vida misma. Espero que tomen en consideración esta necesidad. Gracias y que tenga muy buenas noches.
Buenas noches, gracias.
Today, I am here to express a need for linguistic support, a support team for mixed tech families. My name is Francisco Lozano. Good evening to all district members, to everybody present, to all the children. So there are no interpreters, and this hinders communication. Our vision and mission are very clear. We are a diverse community. I am also a member of the community and chair of the Mistec Parent Advisory Committee. And for me, every voice is important, which is why I feel there is a need to improve and further develop the Mistec language environment here in this district. This will create a channel of communication and engage parents in their children's educational journey, helping them succeed in their education and in life itself. I hope you will take this into consideration. Thank you.
Okay, we have Maricela Mendoza Flores.
Buenas tardes, saludos a toda la mesa directiva de educación.
Buenas tardes.
Me dirijo hoy a ustedes como madre, vecina, compañera de trabajo, miembro de mi comunidad y vocera de padres e alumnos que no tienen voz. Dando gracias y respeto al trabajo arduo que han logrado en estos últimos años, gracias a sus talleres a lo largo de cada año ofrecido en cada escuela. He ganado conocimientos y he llegado a entender cómo es el impacto tan grande que juega un padre informado y bien preparado al aprovechar dichos conocimientos. Damos el apoyo que necesitan nuestros hijos. Hemos aprendido a formar preguntas que antes no sabíamos cómo exponer. Y este mismo conocimiento estamos dando de ejemplo a nuestros hijos, que levantar la mano para preguntar alguna duda no es algo malo, sino valioso, que esto nos ayuda a aprender más y por tal motivo me gustaría hacer algunas peticiones a beneficios para nuestros hijos y padres. Petición 1. Nos gustaría que implementaran el programa de inmersión dual en todo el distrito de Santa María Bonita. Un solo idioma te encierra en un pasillo para toda la vida. 2 idiomas te abren todas las puertas del camino. Escrito por Frank Smith. Petición 2. Nos gustaría que en cada escuela del distrito se presente la información en persona, no en Zoom. ¿Qué tan importante es tener un comité y un representante para el distrito? También presentar de quién, cómo, cuándo se toman las pruebas para estudiantes de aprendices como segundo idioma y sea presentado por el comité de DILA en conjunto del Departamento de Servicios Multilingües, quienes yo tengo entendido son las personas más aptas para dar a conocer esta información. Petición 3. También nos gustaría que se pudiera agregar escuela sabatina para todos los estudiantes que tengan alguna dificultad estudiantil y que éste a la vez apoya a fortalecer sus destrezas a un futuro brillante. Doy por terminada mis peticiones y de nuevo agradezco el tiempo y el espacio. Espero pronto recibir respuestas y hechos a mis peticiones. Gracias. Y por último, si le hablas a un hombre en un idioma que entiende, eso llega a su mente. Si le hablas en su propio idioma, eso llega a su corazón. Escrito por Nelson Mandela. Gracias.
Gracias.
Good afternoon. Greetings to the entire Board of Education. I am writing to you today as a mother, neighbor, coworker, member of my community, and spokesperson for parents and students who have no voice. I would like to express my gratitude and respect for the hard work you have accomplished in recent years. Thanks to the workshops you've offered at each school throughout the year, I've gained knowledge and come to understand the immense impact that an informed and well-prepared parent can have. By applying this knowledge, we can provide the support our children need. We have learned to ask questions that we previously didn't know how to phrase. And by demonstrating this very knowledge, we are setting an example for our children, showing them that raising your hand to ask a question isn't something bad, but rather valuable, as it leads to us to learn more. For this reason, I would like to make a few requests for the benefit of our children and parents. Request number 1. We would like to see the dual immersion program implemented throughout the Santa Maria Bonita School District. One language confines you to a single path for life. 2 languages open every door along the way. Written by Frank Smith. Request number 2. We would like information to be presented in person at every school in the district, not via Zoom. It is very important to have a committee and a representative for the district. We also ask that details be provided regarding who administers the tests for students learning English as a second language, how the tests are administered, and when they take place. This information should be presented jointly by the DELAC Committee and the Multilingual Services Department. As I understand, these are individuals best suited to share this information. Request number 3, we would also like to see Saturday school added for all students who are struggling academically, as this would help strengthen their skills and pave the way for a brighter future. I hereby conclude my requests, and once again, I thank you for your time and attention. I look forward to receiving responses and updates regarding my request soon. Thank you. And lastly, if you speak to a man in a language he understands, that reaches his mind. If you speak to him in his own language, that reaches his heart. Written by Nelson Mandela.
Carmen Jurado? Jurado?
Yes.
Thank you.
Hola, buenas tardes a todos.
Buenas.
Mi nombre es Carmen Jurado. Quiero leerles unas pequeñas estadísticas. El Distrito Escolar de Santa María Bonita cuenta con 17 escuelas primarias, 4 secundarias, con más de 17,000 estudiantes, lo cual hace este distrito el más grande del condado de Santa Bárbara, y sirviendo a una comunidad de promedio hispana del 95%, ya que es una región agrícola. Más del 52% de los estudiantes son aprendices de inglés, ya que no es su primera lengua. Basada en los datos del ciclo escolar 2026, solo el 16% de nuestros estudiantes cumplieron con la meta de promedio de las estadísticas de matemáticas, el 26% en la de lectura, lo cual indica que más del 50% no cumplieron con la meta de base de los estándares del estado de California. Les agradezco su tiempo, este espacio y plataforma, esperando que todos podamos trabajar juntos por un mejor futuro de nuestros hijos y de nuestra comunidad. Quiero agregar un agradecimiento al señor McDuffie, al señor Uribe, a Greg. ¿Me puedes ayudar con estos nombres? Sorry, no es lo mío el inglés.
Wiseman, Martinez, and Mr. Humphrey.
Que son las personas que se comunicaron conmigo después de mi visita del 18 de julio. Gracias por su atención.
Good evening, and thank you very much for taking this time to listen to my comment. I would just like to take a few moments to tell you some statistics that I have come up with. According to the statistics that I have here on my hand, at least 17,000 students are currently being attended to here at Santa Maria Bonita School District. Of them, a majority of these students are from a Hispanic speaking community. Because of this, there's lots of EL students that are comprised among those students. Some of the statistics are the following. 16% of these students have met the math standard for California. 16% have met the reading standard for California. However, we see that more than 50% did not meet the California standards. Therefore, I'm hoping that we collectively, as a district, as families, can work together and hopefully help raise these standards so our students can make those advancements. I would also like to take a moment just to thank Dr. McDuffie, Wiseman, Humphrey, Mr. Uribe for all your attention and helping me and answering the questions I have had in the past. Thank you very much.
Jorge Gallardo.
Good evening, board members, district staff, parents, and members of our community. My name is Jorge Gallardo. At our previous board meeting, my wife and I brought up some safety, health, transportation, and staff concerns that resulted in a bad experience for one of our children during the past summer camp Elevate. Today, I would like to express my gratitude and thank you. Some of you have responded to our emails, phone calls, and some even took the time to meet with us, listen, understand, and work on solutions. Thank you, Dr. McDuffie, Mr. Rive, Mrs. Grack, Mrs. Wiseman, Mr. Martinez, and Mr. Humphrey, and all the district staff members. Thank you for taking the time for your busy and demanding schedules, giving us the time and space, showing us that you truly care. On this new starting school year, we hope to see positive changes and look forward to working together with the board members, the district, schools, parents, and our community for a successful school year and betterment for our students. Thank you.
Jacinta Velasco Morales.
Muy buenas tardes, mesa directiva. Muy buenas tardes, gabinete, y muy buenas tardes, audiencia. Mi nombre es Jacinta Velasco Morales. Yo tengo 4 hijos y soy trabajadora en la agricultura. Quiero decir, este comentario va para el público presente, para la mesa directiva y toda la comunidad de la Costa Central que nos está viendo en YouTube. Hoy estoy aquí para hablar las responsabilidades de la mesa directiva. Establecer la misión, visión visión y misión y objetivos del distrito. Establecer prioridades para el rendimiento y logro académico de los estudiantes. Adoptar políticas que orienten el funcionamiento del distrito. Supervisar si el distrito está cumpliendo con sus objetivos. Como la mesa directiva, el Distrito Escolar de Santa María Bonita puede cumplir con la responsabilidad de establecer la visión y misión del distrito si ellos mismos la quebrantan. Una de las misiones de este distrito es de establecer y promulgar la participación familiar y comunitaria. Ustedes, miembros de la mesa directiva, son los responsables de que la misión de este distrito se cumpla. ¿Cómo van a asegurarse que la misión se cumpla cuando ustedes también no la cumplen? En la junta anterior, uno de los padres que expresó ante ustedes el problema que ella tuvo con su hijo que está en educación especial y no fue dado en las necesidades que él ocupa para ir a la escuela de verano. Pero en eso no es solo el problema también se extendió fuera de este establecimiento cuando la señora Cabral inadvertida o advertidamente se burló de la situación. El problema es que la madre acababa de expresar una preocupación muy seria relacionada con su hijo y con su educación especial en la junta de la mesa directiva del distrito escolar. La función de esta mesa directiva es la supervisión de las políticas y los programas educativos del distrito. Y el Distrito Escolar de Santa María Bonita establece específicamente que sus políticas tienen como objetivo garantizar el acceso equitativo y las oportunidades educativas, independientemente de la discapacidad y de la condición de educación especial del estudiante. Por lo tanto, aunque la reunión ya había terminado y la señora Cabral ya no se encontraba formalmente en la sesión de la Junta, ella seguía interactuando con una madre en su capacidad de funcionaria electa. La respuesta de la madre, no sé qué tiene de bueno, quizás no fue particularmente amable, pero es comprensible dadas a las circunstancias. La decisión de la señora Cabral de alejarse mientras se reía podría razonablemente percibirse como una actitud de burla y prepotencia o como una forma de restar importancia a la frustración de la madre. Esto resulta especialmente preocupante por la queja de la madre porque estaba relacionada con el IIP de su hijo y con la falta de apoyo para su hijo que no había recibido del distrito y no con un asunto tribal. Espero que tomen cartas en el asunto. Muchísimas gracias por escucharme y doy muchas gracias a todos los padres que nos vinieron a acompañar. Muchas gracias.
Good afternoon, board members. Good afternoon, Ms. Dr. McDuffie. Good afternoon, Cabinet, and good afternoon, dear audience and everyone present. My name is Jacinta Morales. I am a mother of 4 and a farm worker, and also a member of the DLAC committee. The message is for the audience here today, and for the board members, and for the entire Central Coast community watching us on YouTube. Today, I'm here to discuss the responsibilities of the board, establishing the district's vision, mission, and goals, set priorities for student academic performance and achievement, adopt policies that guide the district's operations, monitor whether the district is meeting its goals. How can the SMBSD School District Board fulfill its responsibility to establish the district's vision and mission if they themselves break it? One of the district's missions is to establish and promote family and community involvement. You, the members of the board, are responsible for entrusting that the district mission is fulfilled. How will you ensure the mission is fulfilled when you yourselves are not fulfilling it? At the previous meeting, a parent brought to your attention a problem she had with her son, who is in special education, and was not provided with the accommodations he needed to attend summer school. But that is not the only problem. The issue also extended beyond the school, and Ms. Cabral, whether intentionally or unintentionally, mocked the situation. The problem is that the mother had just raised a very serious concern regarding her son and his special education at the school district board meeting. The role of this board is to oversee the district's educational policies and programs. And the Santa Maria Bonita School District specifically states that its policies are to ensure equitable access to the educational opportunities, regardless of the student's disability or special education status. Therefore, even though the meeting had already ended and Ms. Cabral was no longer formally in session, she was still interacting with the parent in her capacity as an elected official. The mother's response, "I don't know what's so great about you," may not have been particularly polite, but it is understandable given the circumstances. Ms. Cabral's decision to walk away while laughing could reasonably be perceived as an attitude of mockery and arrogance, or as a way to downplay the mother's frustration. This is particularly concerning because the mother's complaint related to her son's IEP and the lack of support she had not received from the district. This is not a trivial matter, and I hope that you take steps to remediate the situation.
Quiero dar las gracias a todos los padres que nos acompañaron. Ya nos podemos retirar y muchísimas gracias por acompañarnos.
Disculpe, señora Jacinta, si pueden esperar a que acabemos el tiempo de, pueden sentarse, pero esperar a que acabemos el tiempo de comentario.
Daniel Garcia.
Good evening to the board and to all. We are concerned that our school board may not be hearing what the community is saying about our school district. Tonight, I'll be reading a portion of the post from social media. This is your community and they deserve to be listened to. Yeah. The food service department appears to be experiencing many of the same issues. The hiring process seems ineffective and there is a significant amount of micromanagement, which has become a common management style. It is also concerning to see over $300,000 spent on ovens that have remained in the warehouse for over a year because of the wrong equipment was ordered. Despite such costly mistakes, raises continue to be awarded while there is a perception that leadership is not consistently present or available during regular work hours. These issues raise serious concerns about accountability, fiscal responsibility, and effective leadership. Thank you.
Aracel Gutierrez Orozco.
We are concerned that our school board may not be hearing what the community is saying about our school district. Tonight, I will be reading a portion of a post from social media. This is your community, these are your constituents, and they deserve to be listened to. I wanted to thank Blank for his post about the SMBSD leadership. Everything he said is true. The leadership in the maintenance department is extremely incompetent and corrupt. Our construction supervisor has never built anything in his life. The ground supervisor has never managed people. The recently hired new supervisor is only concerned with being promoted. They are so incompetent that they will only hire others who are incompetent. So their incompetence won't be further
Can you slow down?
exposed. Sure.
So that they can interpret back there. Just slow down.
Yeah. Should I let him catch up? Okay. They predetermine hiring outcomes for new positions. They erased videos that would incriminate them for wrongdoing. They try to bully and intimidate employees. These supervisors have gutted our tool crib and refuse to hire for vacant positions that are much needed, but they feel can just be contracted out. These are positions that the taxpayers own, and they feel that the taxpayers don't deserve these positions. They threw away expensive equipment because we don't use it every day. For example, our lath and glass deader went into the trash, but functioned perfectly. They now want to get rid of our wood shop because they feel hiring a carpenter is a waste of money and prefer replacing good quality cabinets with cheap prefab ones. Because, again, they don't value the citizens of Santa Maria. The micromanaging is beyond ridiculous. They come and go when they want. They think the board and their directions are a joke. A few months ago, the board gave directions on how they wanted the 2 new campuses built. A board member questioned the M&O director at a board meeting, and basically he was told to go pound sand. Our new schools are not being built the way the board directed. The head of M&O removed items that were being stored at school sites, which included new desks, portable sinks, desk chairs, and rolling cabinets. Tens of thousands of dollars worth of taxpayers' funds property was thrown away. The board is aware because we reached out to them only to be blown off. Supervisors have pitted employee against employee to the point of a physical altercation and hid from the district. We have had several employees resign or retire because they can't stand working here. These were quality employees that we lost. Unfortunately, we have a board that couldn't care less. Employees have stopped filing complaints because the administrators turn it around and blame them. Our union leaders are drowning to help protect us and have now started reaching out to outside government agencies. Unfortunately, those agencies work at the speed of government. Board members that I have run into away from work keep promising to meet with us, but never do. Before I forget, we have a night custodian supervisor who doesn't work at night. That's why poop art stays on bathroom walls for weeks. If you ever talk to these leaders and question them about what is going on, they will lie. As the old saying goes, if a bureaucrat's lips are moving, they are lying.
Christy Harden.
Hello, I'm here to talk about the increase in our health benefits. A couple years ago, when it went up $100, I panicked. That was a lot for me. And it may not be for everyone, but it was a lot for me. And now that I'm here, it's going up another 250. I just got a pay raise from almost 3 years ago, just now, like a few months ago. So I just got back to where I was 3 years ago in pay. And now I'm being told my insurance is going up $250. So you're asking me to choose between rent and healthcare. I will not be able to get healthcare if it goes up that much. I literally won't. And the fact that you put in that $5,000 no pay a month means I can't get help with the public assistance healthcare that our state provides. So you've eliminated that option for me. I've worked for the district. I'm going on my 12th year. And I want you to know I love my job. I work with special needs kids and medically fragile children and students, and I love it. I just couldn't imagine what else I would do. It is amazing. It's hard, it's challenging. There's seizures, there's things going across the classroom. I love it. And I feel you guys don't even pay for our CPR classes anymore. You used to. When I first got hired here, it was a good job. And I felt like some of the people thought it was important. If it wasn't for the students, I wouldn't be here, but I don't want to go anywhere else. I love them. And I hope you guys understand that this is serious. I'm not a spring chicken, and I want healthcare at this point, and I want my job, and I want a pay that I can live on. And I want to feel appreciated because I do love what I do. So thank you for this time. And I hope something can be figured out because I literally could not afford that. I hope you understand that.
Jennifer Escobedo.
We are concerned that our school board may not be hearing what the community is saying about our school district. Tonight, I will be reading a portion of a post from social media. This is your community, these are your constituents, and they deserve to be listened to. I just saw a post about the increase in health insurance for SMBSD staff. It looks like the district is desperately trying to make working there unaffordable so that they can expand contracting out our students' services. As a grandparent and taxpayer of 2 students who attend school at SMBSD, I find this unacceptable. The board should be ashamed of itself for allowing this to happen. One of the board members claims to be a champion for the people and is running for county supervisor, has failed miserably in standing up for the employees. He will not get my vote. The rest of the board members definitely could care less about the staff. I have noticed that when staff speaks at board meetings, they don't listen. They play on their phones or computers. Remove their computers from their desks so they have to focus on the comments.
I have Lucia Lyons.
Good evening, members of the board and Dr. McDuffie. My name is Lucy Lyons. I have worked for this district for over 12 years. I want to look you in the eye and ask you a very important question. Would you be able to survive off of $1,600 a month? Because that is the terrifying reality of most of your classified staff for this upcoming year. Let me introduce you to Ashley. Ashley is a community liaison who has worked for this district for over 7 years. Her net worth is $3,018.72. And she gets $67.29 for her longevity, which brings her total gross to $3,000.86. After the deductions, summer savings, federal tax, state tax, Medicare, retirement, and the insurance of $699, her take home will be $1,659 for the entire month. Let's look at the math of your equal system. When out-of-pocket premiums skyrocket to $699, that deduction means absolutely nothing to an executive who's making over $20,000 in gross a month. But to classified staff, $699 is almost half of their entire monthly survival budget. How is it fair that a support worker has to spend an amount equal to 50% of their take-home pay just to have health insurance for themselves and their family, while an administrator pays less than 5% of their income? A flat rate is not an equal coverage. It is a poverty deduction. When we are the boots on the ground, we keep the schools clean, the students fed, the office running. We are the ones who keep this district running. Now, because of this crushing insurance burden on our paychecks, we now are forced to make the very difficult decision. Do we go or do we stay? We don't want to leave. We love our schools. We love our coworkers. We love our staff. We love our community, and we love our families. But you are asking us to choose between our job and just having income to survive. We demand health coverage indexed in our income and not a flat rate that starves our family. So, if any of you believe that $1,659 is acceptable to live on, I dare all of you to survive off of that budget for just 1 month. Thank you.
Jennifer Ellsworth.
Good evening, I'm Jennifer Ellsworth.
We are concerned that our school board may not be hearing what the community is saying about our school district. Tonight, I will be reading a portion of a post from social media. This is your community, these are your constituents, and they deserve to be listened to. It's mind-blowing that workers take home less than $2,000 a month after all the deductions. I agree, everyone says to go to school board meetings and speak up, but they never do anything about the community workers who work for SMBSD. No one who has spoken up is ever heard. It also doesn't help that these board members vote for literally anything the superintendent and his cabinet tell them to vote for. Public input no longer matters. I have never seen the board actually take action on public comments. Their mind is already decided and just listen because they have to. This sentiment, this is my words, has been expressed time and time again in one-on-one conversations with coworkers, on social media, and in meetings. The complaint is managers aren't listening and board members are not fulfilling their responsibilities of oversighting them. Our employees are frustrated, our community sees what's going on, and students are ultimately suffering. We are calling the board to action. Direct the district to make permanent their proposed temporary cap raise. We have the funds for it. Don't squeeze our staff more than they can endure. We have dedicated professionals who are folding under the weight of the current cost of living and insurance. Do better. Support our employees. Another social media post said it well. Santa Maria Bonita School District, you need to address these concerns. Taxpayers want answers, and employees need your help. Thank you.
Raul Chavez.
Hello. Thank you for your time. And let's see. My name is Raul Chavez. I've got 21 years with the school district. I'm here in solidarity with my union, and I'm here to read this comment. We are concerned that our community board may not be hearing what the community is saying about our school district. Tonight, I will be reading a portion of the post from social media. This is your community. These are your constituents, and they deserve to be listened to. There's a trend in local governments where citizens ask for information that they're legally entitled to, and the local governments ignore these requests. SMBSD is no different. There's nothing more disheartening than calling the people you trust to educate your children and grandchildren only to be asked whether you're sent your request by registered mail. The answer is, I did not. But now that the trust has broken, I will from now on. We're not getting our money's worth. I will be asking for a copy of the district budget and a copy of the actuals. I bet we, the people, can find where the money is hidden that could be used for the students and staff. I don't believe there's no money in a $250 million budget to cover the insurance cost, at least for the lowest paid employees, so they can live, if not all employees. Let's see. While listening to the other person talk, I just got kind of inspired, and I want to add this little last bit to it. I feel like I don't feel like an essential or important asset to the district anymore. Similarly to the microfiber rag change that you get what you pay for. You know, we used to have a premium, long-lasting, dependable rags that we could use to clean, to do our job. And now we changed it to microfiber rags that don't last that long, and they pollute the planet for our children. They introduce microplastics into the planet, and that's what we're doing. Thank you guys very much for your time, like I said before.
We have Gene Blackwell.
Good evening. Sorry, I'm using my phone. My printer died today. Good evening. I wanted to raise a serious question about how the district is prioritizing the maintenance and operations staffing dollars. Maintenance currently has around 5 vacant maintenance employee positions. Instead of filling all of them, funding from 2 of those positions was used to create or expand other positions. But the maintenance work didn't disappear. It was pushed onto the remaining maintenance 2 employees who are already carrying a heavy load. Now employees are repeatedly being told by the new maintenance supervisor that there isn't enough work to justify these vacancies or filling these vacancies, that the hours aren't there. The maintenance 2 employees strongly disagree. For years, preventative maintenance has fallen behind. There is plenty of work that should be done before equipment fails and repairs become more expensive. The supervisor's own job descriptions requires inspecting buildings to identify repair needs and establishes and implementing routine preventive maintenance schedules. Yet employees are being told there isn't enough time to inspect the sites, generate the work orders, or establish that schedule. So I have a simple question. If there isn't enough work to justify filling the positions of the employees who actually perform the maintenance, why did we need another supervisor to supervise the work, and why are we contracting work out? We now have 3 maintenance supervisors while frontline maintenance positions remain vacant. If the district truly believes there isn't enough work, then the board should examine the supervisory structure just as closely as the frontline staffing. If the supervisor's positions aren't necessary, maybe it's time to eliminate, freeze them through attrition and put those savings towards something the employees desperately need, like increasing the district's contribution towards health insurance. The board should ask one basic taxpayer question: are we getting the best bang for our buck? Maintenance employees aren't asking for unnecessary positions. They're asking for enough people to properly maintain our schools, perform preventative maintenance, and protect our taxpayers' investment. We don't need more people managing work we're being told doesn't exist. We need enough people to actually do the work. Thank you.
That's all we have of public comment.
That's all for non-agenda and agenda items, or agenda items?
Both.
Both, okay, great. 6, 7. Any comments from the Associated Presidents this evening? Oh, yes. Oh, start with, is Smia here today? Yes. Okay, well, Smia and then CSEA.
Thank you.
All right, no problem, thanks.
Wow, Mr. Blackwell really hit something hard when I remember when we started 28 years ago. The rooms were immaculate. Everyone had time, not 2 minutes to a room. And there wasn't need for that deferred maintenance because everything was kept up ahead, and it wasn't just, oh, let it go little, but the time has been cut drastically. So thank you, Jean, for bringing that up. So good evening, board members, Dr. McDuffie, cabinet, CSEA in the house, yay. Our brothers and sisters, community leaders, thank you so much for having me here. I just wanted to say, wow, 53 new SMBSD members and growing, and we are counting and growing and excited to welcome them, and also to welcome back all of the educators that have been here in the past. We also want to say a sweet, we miss you already to all the retirees. Their legacy still goes on tomorrow morning. So we're excited that we have such great legacy in our midst too. And as we begin to start the school year, we want to make sure that we really come with our heads and our hearts in the game at the table for the long-term solutions. Long-term solutions make stability, makes happy kids, and higher test scores. So the rising cost of our healthcare plans, we need to meet the basic needs of these educators, not all of us educators, everyone, educators and support staff. They're face-to-face with students every day, or they're supporting students in some way. If they're clipping grass or fixing a sprinkler or changing light bulbs, or today they're putting in new projectors. I'm talking, these people were like on call. I was over at 2 sites. They were there and ready at a moment's notice. Hop to it every second, very much in support of what's going on in the day-to-day face-to-face with students. So these hardworking support staff and educators deserve a long-term solution to healthcare, the rising costs. Our students and our employees have to come first. I also want to encourage the community members and supporters of public education who are watching online or listening to please pay attention to Proposition 3 on the November ballot. I'm saying yes to Prop 3 because it protects funding for our schools and healthcare that millions of Californians rely on. We hope all of you in the community can join us in support of this proposition. We're looking at $40 to $50 million, which is a huge cut just for our own district, would be devastating. So as we start this new year, let's keep doing what we do best. We show up for our students and families, we speak up, and we work together. And with 53 new members and growing, I say SMBSD is clearly raising the bar for professional practice and student engagement across our school sites. Thank you very much, Kristen Lohr, your SMBSD president.
Okay, and Melissa? For CSEA, California School Employees Association. This is Gutierrez, Ms. Gutierrez.
Hello, good evening. My name is Melissa Gutierrez. I represent the classified employees, our support staff. I wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the district for coming to CSEA with a potential temporary solution to the unaffordable increase in our health insurance premiums that our members are facing. While there is still work to do, I appreciate the district acknowledging our concerns and their willingness to come to the table and work with us towards some immediate relief for our members. I also want to thank our SMBSD brothers and sisters for standing with CSEA throughout this process. I have truly appreciated the opportunity for our 2 associations to collaborate on this potential temporary solution and to advocate together for the employees that we represent. Our classified and certificate employees may have different jobs and different bargaining units, but we share many of the same concerns. Healthcare affordability affects us all, our families, and ultimately the employees that serve our students every day. So I hope that this spirit of collaboration continues. A temporary solution can give employees some much needed relief right now, but we all know that it does not resolve the larger issue. As we move forward into negotiations in the coming weeks, I hope that CSEA, SMBSD, and the district can continue to work together to find a long-term sustainable solution to keep healthcare affordable without sacrificing coverage. So thank you to the district for coming to the table. Thank you for SMBSD for standing with us. And thank you to my members who continue to make their voices heard. Thank you.
Is anybody here for AIMS, Administrators in Management Services?
Nope.
Nope. All right, if we'd like to take an 8-minute break. 8 minutes, 7:08.
I'll make the motion to approve the agenda as presented.
And I'll second that.
Thank you. It's been moved by Mr. Lara and seconded by Mrs. Cordero to approve the agenda. Roll call, please.
Ms. Cordero?
Aye.
Mr. Lara?
Aye.
Ms. Cabral?
Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. Item 11, presentation and discussions items. Partnership with items 11A, partnership with Orenda Education update for the 2026-2027 school year. Ms. Lachangu.
All right, it is good to be here with you tonight. Before I start on the presentation, so there are two parts to tonight's presentation. This first part, during the presentation, I will be giving you background on this continued partnership with Orenda. During the action portion of the agenda, I will be back to present the contract, because I want to make sure that you understand how comprehensive this partnership is, to give you context before you vote on the contract during the action item. All right, so we'll start with the presentation. So it's good to be here with you all tonight. President Cabral, members of the board, Dr. McDuffie, our San Benito school community, and the public who's watching online. Every child in San Benito deserves access to rigorous, empowering, accelerated, and learning experiences so that we can ensure every student flourishes. I'm going to get my little clicker here first. Sorry about that. Flourishes by discovering their passion and purpose, exercising self-determination, developing the skills to reach their maximum potential. Achieving this mission requires more than new programs. It requires strong systems, effective leadership, and consistent instructional practices across every single one of our schools. This is the Bright Futures Project, which I have been here several times speaking to you guys about. So the Bright Futures Project isn't just another program, it is a shift in mindset. It reflects our core belief that every student deserves to be seen, supported, and inspired, no matter what school they attend in San Benito. The Bright Futures Project is a whole child approach. Curriculum alignment defines what students will learn. Universal access ensures everyone can access that learning. Restorative practices foster the relationships that support learning. Community schools remove barriers that impact learning. And PLCs continuously improve teaching through collaboration and evidence of student learning. Together, they create the conditions for real learning for every student in San Benito. So last school year, we laid the foundation or built the floor for the Bright Futures Project. Foundations are essential, but we all know that no one moves into a foundation. This school year, we begin building something students and teachers will experience every single day. It is about becoming more intentional, more aligned, more consistent in our practice. Our focus shifts from building the foundation to ensuring cohesive implementation across all of our schools. Success will depend on strengthening the systems that ensure every school can implement our vision consistently. Here are the expected outcomes for the 26-27 school year. Stronger Tier 1 instruction, consistent instructional leadership, common assessment practices, effective data reflection cycles, increased curriculum alignment, greater coherence, and improved student outcomes. Our existing partnership with Orenda will help us achieve these outcomes. This continued partnership provides leadership coaching, instructional system support, assessment development, and data-informed continuous improvement structures that strengthen implementation of the Bright Futures Project across every single one of our schools. The next slide will outline the proposed investments that will support these strategic priorities. So before I go into the details of this partnership, rather than viewing this partnership as a collection of individual services. I encourage you to think of it as 4 strategic investments that directly support the implementation of the Bright Futures project. Each investment strengthens a different part of our district's instructional system, but together, they create the conditions for improved student achievement. So the first investment here focuses on building leadership capacity because sustainable school improvement begins with strong leaders. This work equips our district and site administrators with the knowledge, coaching, and support needed to lead implementation of the Bright Futures project with consistency across every single one of our schools. So under investment number 1, we have this 2-day leadership column intensive where we bring together our superintendent, district leadership team to reflect on progress, identifying priorities, and plan for the next phase of the Bright Futures project. It helps ensure our leadership team stays aligned, focused, and prepared to support continuous improvement across all of our schools while connecting and learning from other districts across California. Sustained improvement requires ongoing support. That's why this work continues throughout the year with regular executive team coaching to keep our leaders aligned, responsive, and focused on successful implementation of the Bright Futures project. While executive team coaching keeps our district leaderships aligned, it is equally important that our school leaders have knowledge and skills to lead this work on their campuses. The admin-powered clinics build on leadership coaching by focusing on our site administrators. These sessions help principals and assistant principals strengthen their instructional leadership skills so they can better lead or support teachers, lead professional learning communities, and monitor high-quality instruction. The goal is to ensure every school is moving in the same direction. As leaders put this learning into practice, ongoing support is essential. Our next service provides technical assistance and coaching throughout the year to help district and site leaders address challenges, stay aligned, and keep the Bright Futures project moving forward. Our next service focuses on front-loading leadership by giving administrators the opportunity to lead, plan, and align before new science and social science curriculum alignment is introduced. This proactive approach helps create a smoother and more consistent implementation across all junior high sites. Strong leadership creates a foundation for improvement, but the real impact happens in our classroom. Our second investment focuses on strengthening instruction by ensuring teachers and school leaders share a common understanding of high-quality instruction and learning. High-quality teaching and learning. We begin with learning walks, which helps build that shared vision across all of our schools. They provide district and site leaders with the opportunity to observe classroom instruction together, identifying effective practices, and develop a shared understanding of what high-quality Tier 1 instruction looks like. This creates consistency in how we support teachers and help ensures every student experiences rigorous and engaging instruction in the classroom. Our next service is a targeted investment for our junior high science and social science teachers. The Curriculum Alignment Institute brings teachers and administrators together to align curriculum, develop common assessments, and ensure students have rigorous, standard-aligned learning experiences in these 2 content areas. The admin site coaching service brings the work directly to our school sites. Through ongoing coaching, site leadership teams will strengthen their instructional leadership, support teacher collaboration, and use data to guide continuous improvement. The goal is to build each school's capacity to lead the Bright Futures project, ensuring consistent, high-quality instruction and support for every student. Strong instruction is only one part of student success. Our next investment supports the whole child by bringing administrators and counselors together to align the academic, behavioral, and social emotional support that help every student thrive in San Benito. High-quality instruction is essential, but we also need to know that our students are learning. So our third investment focuses on using assessments and data to guide instructional decisions, monitor student progress, and continuously improve teaching and learning across our district. The first step in using data effectively is ensuring that we have high-quality assessments. Our assessment support service helps teachers and leaders develop common assessments that provide meaningful information about student learning and guide instructional decisions. Once high-quality assessments are in place, the next step is using that information to improve instruction. Data reflection sessions bring teachers and school leaders together to analyze student learning, identifying strengths and areas for growth, and develop action plans that respond to the students' needs. After teachers and grade-level teams reflect on classroom data, our school leaders take a broader view. Meta-reflection sessions provide principals with dedicated time to analyze school-wide trends, monitor progress, and identify the next steps needed to improve outcomes for all students. After school leaders reflect on their individual site data, the next step is to look across the district as a whole. The mega reflection brings district leaders together to identify system-wide trends, celebrate successes, address common challenges, and align the supports needed to improve student outcomes across all of our schools. Data only improves learning when districts have systems that turn information into action. So the first three investment focuses on building leadership, strengthening instruction, and using data to improve learning. Our fourth and final investment is about sustaining this work. It focuses on building the systems and infrastructures that allow our district to continue improving, support educators, and maintain momentum long after implementation begins. Strong systems depends on having the right information at the right time for our junior high school counselors, district and school leaders so they can make informed decisions and respond quickly to the students' needs. As part of our commitment to improving outcomes for English language learners, we're also investing in the people who will be leading this work across the district. Because the majority of our students are English language learner, building internal expertise in effective EL strategy is a district priority. So together, these four investments, leadership, instruction, data, and continuous improvement systems, they work together to build the capacity needed to successfully implement the Bright Futures Project and improve outcomes for every student. As you've seen or heard tonight, this partnership is an investment in our people, our systems, and ultimately our students. We are strengthening leadership, improving instruction, building better assessment and data systems, and creating sustainable practices that support continuous improvement. This partnership is about more than the services that I've just described. It is about the impact those investments will have on our schools, our staff, and most importantly, our students. The next slide, I will highlight why these investments matters. And these investment matters because our students cannot wait. We have a literacy urgency where 3 out of 4 of our students are not meeting grade level expectations.
By strengthening leadership, improving instruction, using data to guide decisions, and investing in our staff, we are creating a more consistent and connected system across all of our schools, while ensuring every student have access to high-quality experience, doesn't matter what school they attend in Santa Bonita. So with that, thank you for your time, and my team who's here, will be available to take any questions you might have for us.
Mrs. Cordero?
Might you have any idea of how long we will need to rely on this kind of extensive support from Arenda?
That is a great question. Our goal, and I know it's also the goal of Arenda as well, is to build a capacity and then not have them around anymore. And so I'll give you an example of that. So early in the slide, I talked about the DRS sessions. And so we have 5 cycles, learning cycles per grade level. And at the end of the first cycle, the students will take the form of assessments and we get the data and we have the DRS sessions. So for cycle number 1, Arenda will have a person at each of our site working directly with each grade level to look at their data and go through that whole process of analyzing the data, making the plans, and then adjusting and figuring out how they're going to go back and adjust their instruction. So they're going to get that intensive support for cycle 1. Cycle 2 comes around because after cycle 1, we're going to connect with the site to see how they feel, where they're at, what support might they need, because it is about building capacity so that we can sustain those DRS at the site level with that support from Arenda. So after cycle 1, we're going to do a kind of take stock of where folks are, how comfortable they are with running the sessions on their own, and then we'll provide support for maybe some site, certain grade level for cycle number 2, because our goal is by cycle number 3 that this will be sustained at the site level and owned by the site level. We are, as part of the presentation, I talked about bringing Arenda. So like last year, we built the floor for ELA and math. We decided that elementary, we would take a pause on the math because we need to work on implementation of ELA with these form of assessments. But for the junior high, we are bringing in Arenda to support with science and social science. But now think about next year implementation of science and social science. We understand how to do DRS next year. Will we need Arenda to support with some of that work? The goal is that we will own this work and be able to carry on without the support of Arenda. If you're going to ask me how long of a partnership, I can't tell you how many years, but what I can say is part of this partnership is to own this work because we are learning right along with what is happening at the site level so that my team and I can be the experts, sites could be the experts so that it is sustained in Santa Bonita without the continued support year after year.
So the science, social science, I thought I understood from the slide that it would only be at junior high.
At junior high,
or
that is
middle
correct.
school, whatever we're going to call it.
Yes.
So that essentially involves 5 school sites.
Yes.
So for the elementary, as you said, an additional year or this year to really focus on ELA and
Yes.
ELD.
Yes. And
So
then
next
well,
year,
for elementary, the focus will be on math.
okay.
And so if our team gets really versed in how to do the item specification and develop these matrices and work on supporting our folks with developing those form of assessments, we hope to own this work.
Okay.
We'll see.
Because
That is the goal.
I mean, looking at past data,
Mhm.
yes, ELA is, I would agree, the
Yes.
primary focus, but math needs to be right up there. as well.
We know our math data. Yes.
Thank you.
Since we've been with Arenda, do we have any data showing any improvements on what we're trying to?
So the work with Arenda last year has really been around helping our teachers understand the rigor of the standard at the grade that they're teaching.
And then from there, understanding what students are being assessed on to make sure that they are designing their curriculum. So when we say we built the floor, it was really building the capacity of the teachers. This school year, 26-27, is implementation. So this is where we put things into motion, and we can talk about the rigor of those standards. We talk about the assessments. So I'm hoping to come back and say, look at the improvement that we've made. And so that is something that we look forward to sharing.
When you said our first cycle and then our second cycle, if we don't need as much support, will that, I guess, the price tag be adjusted for the less support?
Say that, I'm sorry, I missed the second part.
Oh, if we don't need as much support, say, I know what we're approving, what we're approving later today.
Yes.
That's for this 26-27 year.
That is correct.
Okay.
That is correct. So what I will come back during the action item, I'll talk about the cost, but what we have built in terms of the service for the DRS of cycle 1 and possibly cycle 2, we kind of anticipate knowing some of our sites and where that support is. We know that the first cycle, everybody's going to need support.
Yeah.
And then for the second cycle, we built less support because again, the goal is that we own this at the site level.
Okay.
So all of this work is in tandem with the West Ed support that is also in place, that we're also working towards owning that work as well. And so our teachers, our site administrators, our PLC facilitators have received a lot of support and training around how to run these sessions. And so DRS is a new process that we are introducing because we're working with different sets of data and having, but aligning that with the PLC protocols where this is not anything new for our teachers because they've already been doing this the last few years. We have sites that have been doing PLCs for 4 years. And then we have sites that have been doing PLC for 1 year, and this is going on year 2. And so the level of support is going to be different based on where they are in that journey.
And then for our students, how often are the teachers or site people gathering information on how our students are doing or progressing throughout the year?
So anytime when, as a classroom teacher, when you are teaching a lesson, you're constantly, taking stock of, which kids get this concept and who needs help and how do I pull these small group. But in terms of those formative assessments, it's about every 6 to 7 weeks is an average cycle. Because again, every time you teach a lesson, you're going to kind of get a sense of where students are and then how do you adjust for those next lessons because you have those standards that you want to make sure that students are achieving. But that formative assessments, it's every 6 to 7 weeks where we actually have some data that we can talk about during the DRS sessions.
And can I just want to remind everyone, this is a really exciting time in the process because we are actually using these common formative assessments that teachers have created to really look at our students and to see from there where they go. And it really is, we don't have NWA anymore, right? So that was an assessment that we took off of our teachers' plate in order to provide this assessment that they've created at each grade level. And it's not just at one site, it is at all 21 sites that we have the common formative assessment. So this can be very powerful in regards to the results that we continue to make, not just this year, but in the coming years.
Thank you.
One last inquiry, I guess. Excuse me. I know not all of our sites were trained in the LETTERS program, but I would be curious to see if at any of those school sites there has been any impact on student
on
achievement?
student, based on the letters training. I'm going to ask Dr. Katie Salcido to come and help me answer this question because I know she lives and breathes this every day.
Okay, and I don't remember the sites where they were doing it, so.
Absolutely. So we have tentatively studied a little bit of the data and have noticed that there is an increase in student achievement at the schools that have had letters training. That is all completed at this point. Not to say that they're now outperforming non-letter sites, but they had a bigger area of growth than our non-letter sites. Remembering that the letter sites were chosen for a literacy grant based on their underperforming status. So they were at a lower level to start with. So they have now met up to the schools that were not identified for letters.
Right.
We've also taken that learning, science of reading, and used it as a focus in some of our professional learning in order to spread that information and knowledge across the district, and we embed it in what we do, so that all sites are really focused on phonemic awareness and phonics as an element of focus for our science of reading. So it's spread across the district. We also had several district cohorts of teachers pursuing that learning in letters that were not at letter sites. So we have an extensively trained staff across all of our sites at this point, and we did see an increase in that achievement at those sites, both in math and ELA.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Katie.
Any further questions? No? Thank you, Mrs. Lonchavo.
Thank you.
If no further questions, then we acknowledge receipt of the partnership with Arenda Education update for the 2026-2027 school year as presented. Item 12, consent items. Actions proposed for the consent agenda are consistent with adopted policies and approved district practices and are deemed routine. They will be acted on in one motion without discussion unless a board member requests that an item be removed. Are there any questions regarding the consent items this evening? And if none, may I entertain a motion?
I'll move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay.
Thank you. It's been moved by Mrs. Cordero and seconded by Mr. Valencia to approve the consent items as presented. Roll call, please.
Ms. Cordero?
Aye.
Mr. Valencia?
Aye.
Mr. Lara?
Aye.
Ms. Cabral?
Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. Item 13, action items. And, 13. A, approval of contract with Aries Student Information Systems. Mr. Reiki? Reiki?
Oh, almost. Hold on. I got a key job there.
Good evening, board. This evening I have 3 different software renewals I'll be bringing to you. Each one's a separate action item. This first one is for Aries, our student information system. As you probably know, the student information system is what holds all of our students' grades, attendance, health records, discipline records. Thank you for that reminder, and counseling records. It also ensures that we are meeting all of our requirements for state and federal reporting. And it provides all of our students and staff 24-hour access 7 days a week. It is really the foundation of all of our data systems. It is used by 70% of school districts within California. They also reached out and started doing business in Texas a few years ago. We've used Aries for a little bit over 15 years at this point. Fully compliant with all the CD requirements, again, for state and as well as federal reporting. And really important is its ability to integrate with other platforms. And tonight, when I talk about some of the other programs, we'll be talking about that integration that we're able to do to have these different software programs talk to each other so our staff aren't having to do dual entry, entering the same data in multiple places, is a really key piece. I think what's really important for the board to know about this is probably around like the contract and the price, like how do we get to this number? Last year we joined a partnership called the EdTech JPA. and brought it to your board, just kind of as a concept that this would be a piece we'd be using. So what that is the collective of school districts who work together to be able to get competitive pricing. And so we're using that on this particular item to make sure that we're getting great pricing. Therefore, we don't have to go out to a bid. But that's probably really important because the student information system is not something you really want to change. You really do want to stay locked into it for as long as you can, as long as it's working, because there's so much tied to it. Migrating to another system is a huge undertaking. You'd really have to have some really clear goals and guidelines of why you'd want to do that. And so, often I come up here and I'll talk to you about new systems, and we're very careful about what we choose to move it to and move out of. This is one of those ones that would have to take a pretty big act for us to want to move away from. So just know that you'll probably see me a year from now, again, talking about Aries and kind of highlighting the same things. They've been a great partner for us for many years. And with that, I'd love to answer any questions you might have.
I guess security issues.
Yeah.
I see that it, I'm just guessing that it's as secure as anything can possibly be
Yeah, absolutely. So,
until tomorrow.
yeah, I mean, security is always a concern of ours, right? And so we do use multi-factor authentication for all of our staff to get into their Google account, and then it's from their Google account, which is secured, to then to go into Aries. So basically, we use Google as the umbrella security, and then because they're using multi-factor, which is extremely secure, from there they can move securely into Aries. And as far as moving data back and forth, yes, again, they have the right tools in place, so we can move that data in a really secure way when we need to.
I would just add to that, since I attended a couple of things at the new teacher, that the presentations to the new teachers was about security and what to do and not to do specifically, with some really solid examples. So
Yeah, so
I'm sure people are much better at it than I would be.
it's something we continue to work on. It's a constant need of a district. Unfortunately, being a school district, we are a target. And so there are going to be people out there who want to target us to try to get access to our information. And so it's a constant effort to make sure staff are informed about how to keep this information secure.
Thank you. Mr. Valencia?
I know the high school district also uses this software. Does that affect our decision making in any way, or just because the product is working as intended, where you keep
Yeah,
it?
I mean, I think what's the great thing about them using that, Mr. Valencia, is it allows us to share information much more easily. So what used to be a pretty significant undertaking of moving our 8th graders over to the high school district and moving that data, we're able to do that in a much more clean and secure way. I think that's been one of the great outcomes about us being on the same platform.
So should we ever consider joining the 30% of people that are not using it, then it'd be essential, right? To make sure that we're
Absolutely.
working with the high school district to make sure that there's like seamless transitions.
It would be wise for us to have those conversations.
Thank you. If there's no further questions, can I get a motion?
I'll move that the Board of Education approve the contract with Aries Software as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you. It's been moved by Mrs. Cordero and seconded by Mr. Lara that the Board of Education approve the contract with Aries Software as presented. Roll call, please.
Ms. Cordero?
Aye.
Mr. Valencia?
Aye.
Mr. Lara?
Aye.
Ms. Cabral?
Aye. Thank you. Motion passes. Item B, approval of contract with the Boys and Girls Club with Mid Central Coast for Evans Park offsite school program services. Ms. Wiseman?
Good evening.
Good evening.
I come to you this evening with a request to approve a contract for off-site school day provider offering with the Boys and Girls Club Evans Park facility. This is technically a new contract, but a continued partnership. Our ELOP funding allows us to work with interested community partners and to provide additional support above and beyond what we offer through our 21 school sites. The support provides more openings for after-school programs for students that could potentially be waitlisted due to full capacity programs at our school. Our off-site school day contracts go through the request for qualification process, As a reminder, that RFQ process is a non-competitive call for qualification. Any organization may apply, but they have to meet all the requirements and the qualifications. So in the case of our off-site school, not our off-site school day providers, it's a tongue twister, we accept all reasonable and qualified responses. So this contract particularly covers all school days, so regular, early, and minimum days, Monday through Friday, from after school to 6 p.m. The Evans Park facility can support up to 50 students. The staffing expectations are 20-1 for grades 1st through 8th grade and 10-1 for TK to K. The students who participate in this program receive a healthy snack, an SEL check-in, they get some academic and enrichment rotations, some recreation, reflection, and celebration at the end of each day. A few examples of the enrichment opportunities include sports and fitness, STEM and Maker Lab, creative arts, and leadership. The contract cost covers all costs associated with the program, including facilities, supplies, staffing, contract expenses, as well as indirect costs. This is billed, it's important to note that this is billed for actual student attendance. So they can register students, but, or they can enroll the students, but they have to show up before we pay them. So that's why you'll see it's a not to exceed contract. So if every student shows up, all 50 students show up, every single 180 days, it would be $244,077.40. This is a 2-year contract with the option with equal agreement between the Boys and Girls Club and Santa Maria Bonita School District to renew for an additional 3 one-year terms. This is all funded through ELOP funding. And with that, I will ask for your approval of the contract and answer any questions you may have.
You mentioned it overflow, or if there were wait lists. So would parents be automatically referred to that facility, or would the parent generate the contact with Boys and Girls Club based on, say, where they're living? Or
I'm going to write that question down and follow you up with that answer because I'm not sure, since I've only been doing this for about 8 days. And so I'm learning. This is a contract that Mrs. Grock started before she left, and I've picked it up. So I've done a lot of learning, but I will find out and get back to you. I do know that they generally come from the school sites in that area. And it's like, what I've understand is it's kind of a parent choice if they want them to attend there, and when they fill up, then they're unable to take any more students. The next contract works exactly the same way, but for more students.
okay, I get that. I mean, I was really, because Evans Park is at the very, very north end of town, for somebody from Arianas to be shuffled, if you will.
They're generally the students in that area of those highly impacted. So from my understanding within Evans Park, it would serve maybe some of those Rice students that live in that area, some of those Ontiveros students that live in that area. And then for the second one, it would be the students that kind of live in that area of Railroad that we're going to talk about next.
Okay. Thank you.
And I apologize for not knowing the answer yet.
I won't ask that question on the next one.
I will probably give you the same answer if you do.
I think you answered my question because I was gonna wonder what schools were going just to the Evans Parks, but being it's only 8 days.
But
know
I
it's
will-
the northwest side of town, I can see Oakley and maybe Oakley because.
Mhm.
Yeah, maybe I'll see.
So.
I will find out and I'll be able to answer that question next time. Promise.
That's my next one on the solo.
I think it's a great question and I have that question also.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
We're good? If no further questions, can I entertain a motion?
I'll make go ahead, Ms.
No, go ahead.
I'll approve the contract, the Boys and Girls Club of Mid Central Coast for Evans Park Offsite After School Program Service as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you. It's been moved by Mr. Lara and seconded by Mr. Valencia that the Board of Education approve the contract with the Boys and Girls Club of Mid Central Coast for Evans Park Off-Site After-School Program Services as presented. Roll call, please.
Ms. Cordero?
Aye.
Mr. Valencia?
Aye.
Mr. Lara?
Aye.
Ms. Cabral?
Aye, motion passes. And then again, Mrs. Weisman, thank you. Looking for the approval of contract with the Boys and Girls Club of Mid Central Coast for the Railroad Clubhouse Off-Site After-School Program Services.
I am back again. This time with another request to approve a contract for our off-site school day provider offering with the Boys and Girls Club, this time for the Railroad Clubhouse. This again is technically a new contract, but with a continued partnership. This contract also went through the request for qualification process. The only difference between this contract and the previous contract is the number of students that the Railroad Clubhouse can serve. The Railroad facility can support up to 160 students. The ratio is the same, 21 staffing for grades 1st through 8 and 10-to-1 staffing for grades TK and K. It also covers all school days after school through 6 p.m. The students who participate also receive that healthy snack, SEL check-in, the opportunity for academic and enrichment, recreation, reflection, and celebration. Just like the last contract, this contract also covers the costs associated with the program, facility, supplies, staffing, contract expenses, and indirect costs. And again, this is only billed for actual student attendance. This is also a 2-year contract with an option to renew for 3 additional 1-year terms if there's agreement between both the Boys and Girls Club and SMBSD. So with that, I ask for your approval on this contract, and I'm happy to answer any additional questions.
Mr. Lara?
I see TK through K. Now, suppose we get a low turnout on that. Will they still go to parents with TK through K, or will they go with the 1st through 8th grade to fill those spots?
The way that the contract is written is that TK to K has 40 spots, and 1st through 8 has 120 spots.
Okay.
I believe that's the way they have it staffed on their end to ensure coverage.
All right.
Mr. Valencia?
Are we at capacity for any of these in terms of the students, or what have the numbers been for our student turnout to these after-school programs?
I'm going to beg your forgiveness and come to you with a board memo question and check that attendance for you for from last year to let you know.
And I ask because it seems like it's a great program, like I myself benefited, specifically from, Mid Central Coast, Boys and Girls Club. And it would be a shame, right, if we're not at capacity, so that more children could benefit from these services. And so that's why I'm curious. So yeah, if you can get back to us with that. Appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
I will tell you that I am probably a little more aware of the schools that do attend this. And so it's primarily Bruce, Oakley, and Fairlawn that come into that. So it's a pretty high needs area, and they're within walking distance to attend this one. Okay. Yes, Ms.
This is just a general question about the ELOP program for after school. Is there a required amount of time that students must stay? I know with the original ACES program, there was.
I do not believe that it has the same requirement as the ACES program. If you don't mind, I'm going to look back and see if Mrs. Ibarra. I didn't think so.
Okay.
It's parent preference, so they can check them out.
At any time.
Very different than the ACES, correct.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sounds like a great program. If no more questions, can I get a motion?
I'll move to approve the contract with the Boys and Girls Club of Mid Central Coast for the Railroad Clubhouse off-site after-school program services as presented.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved by Mrs. Cordero and seconded by Mr. Valencia that the Board of Education approve the contract with the Boys and Girls Club of Mid Central Coast for Railroad Clubhouse off-site after-school program services as presented. Roll call, please.
Ms. Cordero?
Aye.
Mr. Valencia?
Aye.
Mr. Lara? Ms. Cabral?
Aye, motion passes. Item D, approval of contract with Frontline Education for the 2026-2027 school year. Mr. Ricky, again.
Thank you so much. So board, yet again, another software renewal. It's a new contract with an existing partner. We initially started using Frontline about 6 years ago. Initially, it was for absence management. So it was how we track employee absences. Probably what's most significant about that is that also is how we would recognize and identify guest teachers to sub into those positions into the classroom. So like a really important critical piece. At that time, we had several solutions that kind of overlapped, but couldn't all do all the things we were looking for in one place. And so over the last couple of years, it's been about letting go of some of those other pieces of software to more centralize this. And so 2 years ago, we added a couple additional modules. So those additional modules were hiring and recruitment. And that's the piece we use now to post new positions that are flown all over. That same tool then allows us to take us through the hiring process and interviews, track all of the conversations that are had within those, and then do our onboarding process all within that system. And that means all that paperwork collected then is stored and made available to the HR team. And at the same time, we also brought on evaluations. And so more than 2 years ago, everything was done with paper. Really tricky to track that much paper through a district of this size. And so I'm happy that we're going into our 3rd year now of using digital evaluations. And it's been a really successful move. And so with this partnership, we've been able to kind of find more ways to really leverage this, keep all the data in one place, and really support our HR team so they can spend more time working with people and less time, shuffling paperwork is the goal. There's still growth we're going to do in this program. So some of our goals for this year is continued integration with Escape. Escape is where we have all of our position control as it relates to HR. And so trying to get those two systems working more tightly together, again, to reduce dual entry. School business requests. So that's the way we make sure that teachers get the opportunity to go out sorry, I'm losing the word. It'll come. Participate, there it is, in professional development. And so we have to provide a sub for them, make sure the sub's paid, and that's paid for, specific budgets depending on, if it was a Bright Futures, it would have its own budget. That's going to be now inside of here. In the past, we were doing that in a way that was causing dual entry. And so when we announced how we were moving this forward, the staff were pretty happy to hear that we found some time savings for them. And then the other two things there is about kind of digitizing some of the paperwork we already have. So there's a whole room upstairs full of past records. And so one of our goals is to get that digitized and get it all moved into this piece of software to just make it readily available and give us more space. We're always looking for more space. And then we're always trying to find some forms that we're doing in paper, and we can digitize those forms and bring them into this piece of software. And so whereas before Aries is really the baseline for all of our student, Frontline is really the baseline for all of our employee records. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Besides Frontline, are there any other providers out there? And if so, why Frontline over the competitors?
Absolutely. So we do look at the competitors from time to time. Often HR may come back from a conference really excited about seeing something. Yeah. And they're going to say, hey, Mr. Ricky, can we take a look at this? Right. And then we're going to take a look at that and do that work. So that's basically what you want to do is kind of continue to explore, see what's out there, and then bring those things that you found from those competitors and say, hey, we saw this. Can you do that? Right? Because sometimes we just don't even know what we haven't explored yet until someone else shows you here's a possibility. And so often we find that we need to give them some guidance about what it is we may need to open up some additional doors. So yeah, we always have to continue to find what's the best solution out there. And again, being thoughtful about when we make these changes, because each one of those changes takes away time potentially from the classroom if we're slowing down how we're doing our business here. So we want to be kind of thoughtful about that. And again, I should mention again, The price on this came through that EdTech JPA to make sure we have quality pricing.
Nope. If no further questions, can I entertain a motion?
I recommend that the Board of Education approve the contract with Frontline Education as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you. It's been moved by Mr. Valencia and seconded by Mr. Lara that the Board of Education approve the contract with Frontline Education as presented. Roll call, please.
Ms. Cordero?
Aye.
Mr. Valencia?
Aye.
Mr. Lara? Ms. Cabral?
Aye. Motion passes. Item E, approval of contract with Arenda, Think Together, Education for 2026-2027 school year. Mrs. Locha.
All right, so I am back for the contract portion of this. And so just a reminder that the Bright Futures Project represents our district's commitment to ensuring every student experience learning that is rigorous, empowering, accelerated, and liberating. This partnership provides the leadership development, instructional coaching, and system support needed to turn that vision into consistent practice in every classroom across the district. At its core, it is an investment in our people, our instructional systems, and most importantly, our students. So the total cost of this existing partnership, but a new contract for the 26-27 school year is not to exceed $1,057,245. Of this total amount, about $1,038,235 will be funded through LCAP, and then about $19,010 will be funded through a DELPI grant. A DELPI grant is a grant that we had received about 3 years ago. So we have a residency program for our teachers, but DELPI grant actually support a similar program for growing our own administrators in the district. And so part of that grant, there's a component where we wrote in some professional learning, investing in our current administrators. And so this is the 3rd year of that grant, and we need to spend this money. And so as you saw in the presentation, there's a lot of services that we will be building the capacity for our principals. So we are contributing from the DELPI grant about $19,000 to support that work. This investment reflects our commitment to supporting schools where the work happens every single day. So approximately about 82% of the total investment, as you can see on here, is directed to the site level, providing an average of approximately about $41,000 per school. So the remaining 18% supports district-wide leadership, professional learning, and systems that ensure coherence, consistency, sustainability across all of our schools. This partnership, we are strengthening the capacity of our educators, aligning our instructional systems, and creating the conditions for every student to thrive. So for these reasons, we respectfully recommend the board to approve the 26-27 partnership agreement with Arenda Education through Think Together.
Do we have any questions, Mr. Valencia?
Some of the comments that we've heard from staff is that, hey, like this is, it's a large investment, right? Over $1 million. And I really appreciated seeing the items, itemized, if you will, right? What's going towards what. And I do have experience seeing some of the good work that takes place, but I think it's a fair question, right?
Yes.
Like it's a significant price tag. So how do we know that it's worth the investment?
Yeah. So as I shared in the presentation earlier, this really is about investing in our people. And when I say our people, it's really our executive team, our principals at every level, because we all own this work. But what you can see up on here is the majority of this investment is geared towards impact directly at the site level. And so think about the DRS sessions and the coaching for our site principals with our junior high science and social science teachers coming together to start creating the floor around those standards,
Because the hope with the science and social science is that at the end of the school year next year, they're going to have those formative assessments and start the 5 cycles the following year as well. So this work is, it's massive because this investment touches everybody who connects directly with our students at all levels.
And just want to add to that, it's 41,000 I see that you have per
Yeah.
school, right? And so we have to understand that $1 million is spread out across
21 sites.
all 21 sites, and that this work is systems work, right? This is not work that's just at one site here and another site there, but really doing systems work. So I think when we look at it and break it down with the capacity that we're building at each site, it's not as costly as one may think. It is, but not as one may think.
Thank
It's
you.
one big contract, but it is 21 sites.
Thank you.
And this is for the year 26, 27. So
That is
for-
correct.
For support for throughout the year.
That is correct.
Nope. All right. If no further questions, can I have a motion?
I'll move that the Board of Education approve the agreement with Arenda, Think Together Education for the 2026-27 school year as presented because the intent is to improve our systems, putting it very generically.
Yes.
Thank you. It's been moved by Mrs. Cordero and seconded by Mr. Lara that the Board of Education approve the agreement with Orenda Think Together Education for the 2026-27 school year as presented. Roll call, please.
Ms. Cordero?
Aye.
Mr. Valencia?
Aye.
Mr. Lara? Ms. Cabral?
Aye. Thank you. Motion passes.
Thank you.
Item F, approval of contracts with Renaissance Learning. Mr. Reiki again.
I'm bringing before you a contract with Renaissance Learning. This is our second year with this product called EduClimber. If I have a favorite tonight, this is the one. We're doing some really great work with the software. I need to recognize a couple folks. Lori Grock, who took us through year one. Year one was about teaching staff how to find students in need who otherwise we might be missing, who maybe weren't the obvious ones, but had telltale signs that this data helps us bring and focus on and provide better support to. Year two, as we transition over this summer from Lori, I have to recognize Nicole Wiseman, who stepped into this role, and we lost 0 time because she really just put everything into it, and we're just building steam as we go. And so year two is about using this tool for a multi-tier support system, MTSS software for case management. And so, as a person who's been fortunate enough to sit down with a team of teachers and administrators to talk about students using an MTSS approach, I was blown away. But the thing I saw is our teachers were working much harder than they needed to because they were going out and having to grab data and information from all these different places. And the beauty of this software is it's bringing all that to them without them having to spend that time doing it. So now we're just spending our time focusing on what the student needs are and what interventions we're going to put in place. And Nicole's done a great job getting us ready to introduce that. And so we'll be using this new process this year for the first time. And she's got all the training and everything ready for us. We're going to do this. That's year two. Year three, we're going to be looking forward to putting our interventions in there. EduClimber has some amazing ability to see what data looks like when you track the intervention students are getting. Does that intervention work for this student? Does it work for this group of students? Is there a time where that intervention stops working? Maybe it works good for 5 weeks, but in week 6, something happens. And we've never had access to that sort of data. So that'll be something in year 3 we'll come back and we'll talk about what that implementation is going to look like. But this year our focus is on using it for the case management, and it's been received really, really great. And, I mentioned earlier about Aries, its integration, integrates great with this. So all the information we have in Aries, all the information we have on our state assessments, local assessments, whether it be iReady, the Amira screener, all that's going to get pulled in here, or already is pulled in here, ESGI, all the tools our teachers have. We get all that data in one place, so they really get a holistic view of the needs, strengths of our students. It's pretty exciting work. And so with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you might have.
Any questions? No. I know with Frontline, you discussed about like improvements that you've done as we go throughout the next year. Any new improvements or new programs that you're trying out this year?
Yeah, so I mean, the EduClimber is really new to all of us, and so we're really learning it kind of 1 year at a time because it is not something you can go very quickly. You really have to kind of take your time with. So last year, we took our time learning how to build these data walls, how to identify students, and every administrator and MTSS team got the opportunity to have that training. This year, it's going to be a focus about case management and using the data again to do a better job tracking what our student needs. And so there's lots of areas untouched for us. The whole product is really new to us. And so that's why I think I'm kind of excited about it, because there's just so much opportunity that we just haven't had the chance to do yet. And here we are doing it. Yeah.
Great, thank you. If no further questions, can I entertain a motion?
I'll move to approve I'll recommend that the Board of Education approve the contract with Renaissance Learning as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you. It's been moved by Mr. Valencia and seconded by Mr. Lara that the Board of Education approve the contract with Renaissance Learning as presented. Roll call, please.
Ms. Cordero?
Aye.
Mr. Valencia?
Aye.
Mr. Lara?
Aye.
Ms. Cabral?
Aye, thank you. Motion passes. Item F, approval of contract with Think Together California School Talent Collaborative. Dr. Salcido.
Good evening, board members and Dr. McDuffie. I am pleased today to bring forward a contract for consideration. This is a contract that is a new contract, but it is a continuing relationship with this company. As we have expanded our VAPA offerings and VAPA teams across our elementary sites to provide PLC coverage for our elementary teachers, that's a huge hiring ask, and these are very hard to fill positions. And so we have 3 vacancies. We have worked diligently with HR. Andrea Alvarez, Director of HR, has done a fantastic job of filling these very hard to fill positions, but we're at a point that we have not been able to recruit anymore. And so what we would do is partner with Think Together under their California Schools Talent Collaborative portion of their company. They would recruit and hire VAPA specialists who are credentialed to fill these positions. They would be filling these positions while we continue to recruit. And at whichever time we hire these positions, we would replace them with full-time teachers hired through the district. So this would allow us to continue VAPA services for our students without any delay, so that the students receive their VAPA opportunities throughout the year. Teachers have consistent PLC pull-out support time while we continue to recruit. So it is a contract for up to 3 contracted VAPA specialists for the time that we need to use them during these vacant openings. So with that, I would be open to any questions.
On the 3 that they're going to be getting as substitutes?
So that's oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
That's a really great question. And we have been working diligently with our school sites who were very concerned about having no one in the position while we pass this contract and then do the recruiting. And so, like I said, Andrea Alvarez, the HR director, has been so great, working so hard with us. And so we have assigned some long-term subs to fill those positions until this contract is approved and we're able to fill them with a little more temporary permanent person through the talent collaborative. So we will have someone in those positions at the beginning of the year for our students to get VAPA, with the intent to replace them with these people who are certificated in VAPA, with the sustainable approach of hiring our own teachers. So kind of a 3-step model, but it will be supported throughout the whole time.
Okay, so we'll have teachers in there, but then if this is approved, we will have substitutes coming in to take those positions, or they'll have to look for subs to come in?
Almost opposite of that. So we're going to start with subs because the positions are vacant right now.
Yeah.
And then these people that we hire through the support of Talent Collaborative would come in as the vendor teacher to support and provide those lessons.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, with the opportunity to be able to hire them? If,
Yeah.
I mean,
Absolutely. We're constantly recruiting for credentialed art teachers. So absolutely.
So, so throughout this substitute and thing together, our position for the VAPA teachers continues open until filled.
Continues to be opened and we're actively recruiting. Yes.
Are we trying to, I'm not entirely certain how many total VAPA positions there are, but are they equally divided into the different areas, dance, music, art, theater?
They are. So there are 18 VAPA specialists. I'm gonna try to do this off the top of my head, but I've only Nicole has been doing this for 8 days, but we have 18 VAPA specialists. We have 2 teams of 5 and 2 teams of 4. In those teams of 4, there are 4 disciplines: theater, art, dance, and music, and they are equally distributed among those teams. In a team of 5, the extra person is in art because the art tends to be the easiest one to duplicate. And so as we fill that extra position, there is that duplication. We try to ensure that in the rotation of VAPA throughout the year, students don't receive the same cycle back to back. So they wouldn't get art and then art. They would go from art to dance, and trying to expose them to all 4 of the disciplines.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Any further questions? No? If no further questions, thank you. Dr. Salcido, can I entertain a motion?
I'll move that the Board of Education approve the contract for Think Together California Schools Talent Collaborative as presented.
I'll second.
Thank you. It's been moved by Mrs. Cordero and seconded by Mr. Valencia that the Board of Education approve the contract for Think Together California School Talent Collaborative as presented. Roll call, please.
Ms. Cordero?
Aye.
Mr. Valencia?
Aye.
Mr. Lara? Ms. Cabral?
Aye. Item 14, new business. Do we have any new business from the members of the board this evening? Mr. Valencia?
Did you have any items, Ms. Cordero? No. Oh, for me, it would be a follow-up on our dual language immersion. I heard from our families today their desire to expand dual language immersion like district-wide. And I know we've heard previous presentations around, space being challenges and staff being challenges, but I definitely would like some follow-up on that to continue to see what progress we can make in fulfilling that, because since I've been on the board these last 6 years, it's been a priority, and I'm sure it's been a priority even years before I got here. And so I want to continue to honor that wish of the community of seeing what we can do to expand our dual language immersion program at all of our sites. So I would like that to be itemized, please.
Thank you. If no further business to be presented, then we move to item 15. Board and superintendent reports. Mrs. Cordero.
Well, I think I already mentioned that last week. I was in attendance 4 of the 5 days of the new teacher induction, I guess, is what we're calling it, week. And while I wasn't there all day, every day, I did sit in on several sessions that I had curiosity about and felt that I would benefit from additional information. Probably, I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings, but the one that I really gained the most information about was about our LPAC assessment, how the elevation program is used to assist, and some of the things that are happening through the multilingual department that I don't think we always get all of that information. So it was extremely informative to me, and I appreciated the fact across the board that we had our very own district presenters for each of the sessions. It was, as always, very well organized. A lot more new employees there than I thought there would be. So that continues to amaze me. And a lot of very positive feedback in the sessions that I attended. You know, there were usually questions or an opportunity to provide some kind of a comment or feedback. And very often I heard people say, oh, this is just great, or that's going to be really helpful. So that was really affirming in knowing that we have a new group of employees who are anxious and eager to get in there. I also had attended our new administrator briefing, I guess, with Ms. Wiseman. And it's always a nice opportunity to get to actually meet new people face to face. So I appreciated that as well. I would not generally make any comment about our parent comments this evening. I appreciated the notes of appreciation for the feedback that our parents have received. And I certainly hope that I know myself personally, I would be upset if nobody returned my call. So let's get that one off the list for sure. But that, you know, there is some recognition that we are making efforts. And that is all we can really guarantee at this point, is that we are making efforts. And as Mrs. Lo Chung Vu has pointed out, we're building systems within our district to address the needs of every single one of our students. Not that I don't think we've ever not tried to do that, but there are so many new ways and new things, and just the technology piece alone that can provide appropriate support for our students and our families. It concerns me that there are so many things on social media in relation to our school district. You know, who does fact checking? And, you know, to have people or the word out there that nobody ever listens or takes any action or pays attention is, in my opinion, simply not true. I will speak for myself personally. I get out to schools. I'm available for teachers on quite a regular basis. And I very seldom have people approach me to make complaints about things that are going on. I do understand the concern about the increase in the health coverage. I completely understand that. And while a certain part of that may be within the district's control, there are pieces of that are outside of our level of control. And I'm sure there's no one working in our district who would like us to put ourselves in jeopardy of overspending and falling into that category of state control or having to make cuts that mean people's jobs and so forth. But yes, I agree. We need to look at other options that are available so that we do have some kind of health coverage that meets the needs of a variety of our employees. So it was wonderful yesterday at the welcome back at Hancock. It was, of course, very well organized. And the locale was really, I was surprised in a very positive way at how nice everything was and how there was shade and tables and chairs and the different stations and, people getting together and talking and greeting each other. And there was a very positive feel with all of that. So it was great to see those who came and those who didn't really missed out on an opportunity. Dr. McDuffie made a very impassioned, I don't want to necessarily call it a speech, but a presentation to everyone that was there, really reiterating what our mission and beliefs are and acknowledging that we have challenges. And we, like every school district, not just in California, but in almost across our country, we will continue to face those challenges and to try to the very best of our ability to meet the needs of our students so that they can be successful. During that process, we hope we can meet the needs of the families as well, but the success of our students is key. They are the ones who will be our future leaders. Thank you.
I just want to take a couple of moments to wish everyone a wonderful beginning of the school year. I think the beginning of the school year, I know for me as an educator, it's always a fresh start. It's an opportunity to celebrate the wins of the previous year, and then learn from the growing pains, right? From the learning opportunities of the previous year. And so it's a fresh start. And so that's what I love about a school year. And so I hope all of our staff embrace that challenge and that opportunity that comes with the new school year. And that's the energy that I hope to bring to this new school year is embracing those opportunities. And yes, we do have challenges. I do appreciate hearing from our staff about, just how even $100 a month, can be the difference, right, between paying the bills and not paying the bills. That is a challenge that I've experienced personally, so that is not a concern that I take lightly. It disappoints me severely that we're one of the few industrialized nations in the world that doesn't offer, universal health care to all people. And we unfortunately, as a district, then have to deal with repercussions, right, of what unfortunately is not taking place within our federal government. And so, but nonetheless, we're going to do what's within our capacity, here locally. And I continue to invite everyone to work together to find, solutions to these really, really difficult times that we're in. And so know that I see you, I hear you. I've lived through these challenges personally. I know what food insecurity feels like. I know what housing insecurity feels like. I myself, as a high school student, remember forgoing healthcare because I was concerned that my parents could not afford it. I have family that are undocumented, and so that adds another layer of challenges to what our communities are going through. And so it behooves all of us, to really make sure that we're exhausting all options, right? That's within our purview to do what we can to help our working families. Because I do see all the hard work that all of our staff do at every level, and everybody deserves to live with dignity. So I definitely intend to lean into that challenge and that opportunity. I want to take a moment also to say thank you to our staff for organizing for connecting our district to the Night in Oaxaca event. It's also referred to now as Noche de Pueblos Originarios. So this is hosted by MyCop, which works a lot with our indigenous families, our Mixteco-speaking families, and it's such a wonderful partnership that we have that I want to continue to see us continue to partner with. Because as our families are pointing out today, there's still more needs for interpretation in indigenous languages. It's wonderful to have our families here advocating and saying, hey, like, good start, but what can, let's keep improving in that area. So I continue to look forward to seeing how we will continue to improve our interpretation services so that all of our families, no matter what language they speak, feel included within our school district. I also saw in the weekly notes that we get for as school board members that we're kicking off our residency program. This CALU program, I actually had the privilege of meeting a couple of folks that either recently graduated or were about to start the program. And they were so excited, right? And these are folks, many of whom are going to be finishing with their certifications to be able to teach dual language immersion courses, right? And so I know that that's something that I speak to Dr. McDuffie aloud about, is we definitely need to continue to build that capacity within our staff to be able to teach these courses. So it's good to see the excitement. It's good to see our local people, right? People that work for our district oftentimes, preparing themselves for the next level of teaching. And so I'm so grateful that that program is such a bright spot within our district and a model that I want to continue to see grow. I also saw in our weekly emails our staff that attended the AVID Institute. So good to see our teachers engaging in professional development during the summer. I don't blame any teacher or any staff member for wanting to take a break and not do anything during their summer breaks. But yeah, we have staff that commit themselves to ongoing learning, and I know it's not just our AVID students, and I know it's not just our teachers. So I'm really grateful for those that take time from their busy summers when they could be doing a lot of family stuff or resting to engage in learning to better serve our students. And I'm a recipient of that those sacrifices from our staff. So I myself was an AVID student and benefited tremendously from being able to be college ready when I started college. So thank you to our staff that engage in that ongoing learning. What else do I have here? I did notice that we also revamped our website, and so that was good to see. Thank you to all of our staff that worked on that. I appreciated seeing that there's a link near the top to translate from English to Spanish. I also saw that on the bottom. And so if we can continue to feature those prominently so people don't get freaked out if it's not in a language that they don't understand. And I'm wondering like if there's other ways we can make it accessible to say like our Tagalog speaking families or families that speak Arabic or other languages. So that's something that I'm wondering is how can we make sure that all of our families can still have the website translated in a language that they can understand. What else do I have here? And and the welcome back event at Hancock, I also really appreciated having the event at Hancock. I mean, anywhere where we have the welcome is great. I did hear from some of our staff that also resulted in some cost savings, which is also wonderful, given how we know budgets are extra tight. So thank you, Allen Hancock College, for offering such a great space at such a very reasonable rate. And so thank you to our staff for all the work. I saw so many of our staff out there welcoming our teachers with a nice meal and some good company. I also really appreciated the energy that I felt there. A lot of our staff shared with me just some of the things that they're excited about, the wins that they had in the year, and how many of our staff are very responsive to the ongoing learning that they're doing. So I talked to some of our tech TOSAs, right, for example. So big thanks to everybody for welcoming our staff, and I wish everyone a wonderful, wonderful school year. Thank you so much.
I just want to welcome everybody back. I want to give a shout out to our classified for going over the summer and doing the jobs that needed to be done at our school sites and beautifying them. And I know there's still work to be done, but I just want to wish everybody, our certificated and everybody that's involved with our littles, a great year, blessed year. And, those kids are going to be smiling and running around tomorrow and wanting hugs. And let's give it to them and let's have a good school year.
Thank you. And I likewise, good luck to everybody tomorrow, starting the new school year. All our new teachers starting your first class. You got it. Just keep plowing through it, and it's gonna be a great year. And that's it, Dr. McDuffie.
Thank you, Board President Cabral. Just really quickly, Board Member Valencia, that translate or that button at the top and bottom, they have it's translations for quite a few. We have those kind of higher use languages, so it's like more visible. Yeah. So we'll definitely look at that. Thank you. Um, wow, I am tired. I'm going to be brief this evening, but I do want to take a few minutes to reflect on yesterday, because it was a really good day for Santa Maria Bonita. Yesterday, we held our annual kickoff celebration on the campus of Allen Hancock College, and I have to tell you, it was a wonderful time. Seeing our entire staff community come together, share a meal, laugh, connect with each other. Before the first day of school, that is one of my favorite traditions, and yesterday reminded me exactly why. To every staff member who joined us, thank you. Thank you for showing up, for bringing your energy, and for being a part of that celebration. It meant a great deal. And to those who were not able to attend for whatever reason, I want to say to you, and I want you to hear, happy new school year. Every sentiment I shared yesterday with our teachers and our classified staff and our administrators there, I mean it just as much for everyone else. You are valued, you are seen, and we are glad that you are part of this family. Now, I do want to give a special shout out because events like this that happened yesterday do not happen by accident. I want to give a huge shout out to Dr. Tammy Castillo Schiffer and her multilingual team, who did so much of the heavy lifting in setting up and organizing the event. Dr. Castillo Schiffer, where is she? Thank you. Please know your team's work did not go unnoticed. It was felt by every single person who walked onto that campus yesterday, and I want to thank you. And to the many volunteers who gave their time and energy to make the day a success. Board Member Cordero is part of Altrusa. We want to thank you for that, for volunteering. And yesterday was a reflection of what this organization looks like when people show up for each other. This is Santa Maria Bonita at its best. Now, the doors open tomorrow morning, and I want to say something to our families. We're ready for you. Our food service teams have been working. Our custodial staff has spent days making sure every campus is clean, safe, and welcoming. Our office staff has been answering phones, enrolling students, and making sure families feel taken care of. Our teachers have been in their classrooms, writing student names, arranging desks, preparing lessons. And I want to give a shout out to our battles classroom teachers, our kindergarten and TKers. They're in new buildings, but with those new buildings, they are still in construction. And so they have had the challenge of having to set up their rooms while people are, hanging things and getting things ready. So I just want to give a shout out to them for that and the challenges they've had to go through. As the students walk through the doors, I went there today, and they're ready. They're ready for tomorrow, as far as welcoming our students, making sure every piece is in place so tomorrow morning goes beautifully. So to our families, bring your children to school tomorrow. We've been waiting for them. We're prepared for them, and we are excited for what this year holds. Let's go, Santa Maria Bonita. Let's go. Let's have a great year. That's all I have.
All right. Our next regular board meeting of the Santa Maria Bonita School District School Board will be held next Wednesday, September 9th at 6 p.m. With no further business, can I get a motion for adjourn?
We don't have another board meeting in August. I had one on my calendar.
I did not have one in my calendar. Oh, no, wait. No,
Okay.
September 9th.
Move to adjourn.
Second?
Thank you. It is now 8:38. Everybody